I'm Yuri, and I'm going for a drive. I'm in the all-new 2025 Cadillac Escalade IQ, which has crab walk. I'm going to enter this roundabout carefully and all wacky. And before I start doing anything on this solo review while Jacob's in Florida, we did meet up and drive this car for the first 10 minutes. So let's send it over there for the horsepower and torque. 750 horsepower, 785 pound-feet of torque in VMAX.
VMAX, launch. I don't know if that felt like those numbers.
You know, they say this is faster than an Escalade V. Doesn't feel like it, doesn't sound like that.
No, not at all.
Or at least that has more power than it.
Yeah, so these are my genuine first impressions. I just got in here 5 minutes ago because I'm on a peacekeeping trip to Florida.
I've been driving it for 10 minutes.
Yeah. First impressions, looks. I kind of actually really like the looks.
It's only because it's all black. When it's two-tone, then it looks weird. It doesn't look like an Escalade. It looks like a SUV Celestica.
Yeah, so
or Lyric.
I've seen a lot of athletes buying these because it's just the newest Escalade, so I get that. But looks-wise, if you just glanced at it, you'd be like, yeah, that's the new Escalade. You wouldn't even know that it's electric.
We're in the Sport 2 trim.
What does that
There's
mean?
Sport 1, Sport 2, Luxury 1, and Luxury 2, which means like different amounts of chrome, blackout, and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think black on black hides all the cool parts of the looks of it.
I agree.
Which is kind of sad.
Because I have seen the two-tone-ish ones where it looks more EV, or at least different.
But then even then, it still doesn't look as good as a regular Escalade.
Yeah, and the wheels, they're 24s, they're huge!
Yeah, they're Aero style.
I do like the looks, but the back end, how it like swoops down is a little bit weird.
This is the one time I don't like the idea of a coupe SUV. Come to a complete stop.
Okay.
You're wasting your time with stuff that isn't...
Features?
Rear steer arrival mode, which is crab walk, but since nobody's crab walking around rocks in the Hummer like it would be for this.
Rear wheel steering.
Okay, go for it.
Oh yeah. Oh, this is so strange. Oh my.
Yeah, good.
Oh yeah.
Do the thing. Go edge to edge.
It's so strange, dude.
Go.
I feel like I'm gonna hit the curb.
Okay, and now turn into this parking lot.
Oh, that was nasty.
Yeah, it really. Okay, now turn.
I'm still in it. Oh my.
Yeah.
Dude, the whole.
Now try turning it off.
Off?
Is it good? Yeah, but
no, it's still on.
It's still on.
What the
That's
heck?
what I'm saying.
What the heck?
If you tried this in a Tim Hortons parking lot, you'd curb it.
Oh, you would.
So come to a stop. Come to a stop.
This is actually insane.
Point your wheel. Yeah, and now I think.
Now it's off.
Yes.
Yes, it is. Confirmed.
See, this is
wow.
like, but it is cool, eh?
It's really cool, but so strange. I saw you doing it when I was following you to this parking lot, and it looks so unnatural.
I've almost clipped like 7 cars in parking lots.
Yeah, like going over this, if I was still in that mode, I'd be sideways curbed into that. Wow, this is...
It's funny that it doesn't even give you a warning. That like, you might be causing some trouble. Nah,
wow.
Go for it.
Okay, so...
Okay, let's try a better launch. That one sucked.
Were we actually in VMAX? I pressed the VMAX button.
Yeah, you were.
It was definitely on.
We need traction off, I think.
Sport, drive modes. We're definitely in V.
Yeah.
Like, it's good, but it's not great.
Nah, it's huge.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'm sure this thing weighs... I mean, is this Ultium,
Ultium.
Hummer? Okay, so it weighs like...
So it's like 9,000 pounds.
Yeah, something like that.
And it tows 8,000 or something.
Yeah, something like that. So it's limited by its own weight, but the Hummer still felt faster from what I recall.
Okay, so before you go to Florida, what looks better, this or the new normal gas Escalade?
Normal gas Escalade.
Does this look all right, though?
Yeah, it looks great.
In the 2 tones. You got to get in 2 tones.
Yeah, and when you showed me that frunk, unbelievable.
2 golf bags.
Unbelievably long, like awkward. You can't reach the end of that.
It's cool.
Without like twerking your...
This has no Apple CarPlay, Android Auto because it's electric. Dude, I am so confused by it. I don't like it. Yeah. I had to like dump my contacts to the phone. I'm not connecting my Google to the Google Maps because I don't feel like attaching my life to a car.
Yep.
And then you sent me a text message. I responded. You sent me a second one. I ignored it. I don't know where to find it. I have no idea.
Because it's not CarPlay, so you can't even find your text message.
And I don't even know if I can use my Spotify. But like I can...
yeah.
Sirius XM Channel 9.
Because it's all Google. Except right now, obviously.
I think you have to say it because it's your side.
Sirius XM Channel 9. I'm sure it'll work at some point.
So that's trash. And then
this has massage. I noticed this button over here, which is pretty sick.
There is rear...
Roll, need, wave, relief, glide.
We got the full executive package.
Yeah.
I want to see if we can connect to the screens there and stream something.
Okay, you do that after I leave. You play with all those. I'm going to do a little 360 / not a 360, a 180, because I want to just floor this thing while I'm driving, not try to brake boost it and see what happens.
Okay, floor it, take this big turn, Magna Ride 4.0.
Yo, this is like... I can feel the weight, and it's scary.
If you hit a bump, let's find a speed bump or a curb, because it's like ding ding.
There's gonna be a speed bump in one of these parking lots.
You just gotta fly into a parking lot.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments. Do you like normal reviews or do you like first drive 10-minute reviews? Because I'm kind of liking this first drive 10-minute.
This is hilarious, actually.
There's one.
There's
big yeller.
Oh, there's a couple here.
R.I.P. my back.
Oops, something went wrong with the connection.
Oh, that felt
Try
good.
again.
It feels good, but it's not as soft on the landing.
No. Oh, there we go, and we got one more. Speed bump test. That's pretty good, but you can hear the weight, which is insane. The leather in here is nice too. The interior is pretty nice.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, it's a little strange, but I'm sure this is literally my first.
Hey, mine too, man. You've literally driven it as much as I have at this point.
Yeah, no. Is there a fridge in here or anything?
You want to see?
No.
Do you want to see something bad?
Yes.
No, it's settings.
Oh, rear steering.
That's your
Yeah.
Vehicle.
I have entered drive mode.
Hold on. Okay. So you're driving now. You expect this to be a high-res cameras and 360 cameras and stuff, right?
Yes.
Put on your left turn signal.
Oh my goodness.
Put on your right turn signal. And if you don't disable that feature, every time you're in CarPlay, it shows up. So, but luckily, you can turn it off with this. But let's look at our...
That's the lowest res I've ever seen.
360 camera's pretty okay.
Yeah, they're cropping in on something.
Yeah, they're cropping hard.
Yeah.
But I mean, come on.
Yeah.
This car is like crazy. You can...
I'm sure this is very expensive.
Y'all can afford some more resolution. You know how much it is?
I'm going to guess it's like 200.
Yeah, it's like 197.
Oh my God.
It's pretty top trim.
Yeah.
Except, I think you can also have the doors close automatically, which I feel like this does have, because the doors are heavy.
It feels like that.
But
you figure that out after I leave.
I will.
Because we don't know how. There's a lot of features here that you need to discover.
Yo, let's crab walk in front of this cop and then you go to Florida.
All right, sounds good.
And for anyone wondering, this crab walk mode is called your arrival mode, which is the cool thing that the Hummer also does. And since this is built off the Ultium platform, it is not a regular Cadillac Escalade that has been turned into an electric car. That's why we have this feature here. And in the inside, we also got this cool like 55-inch screen. We got different looks for this Escalade compared to a standard Escalade, and a lot of cool other features. So let's get into what this is. So before we get into the looks and all the cool stuff, crab walk mode. We got to come to a complete stop, because this is what you're going to want to do if you own one of these. Click this button at the bottom right for your car settings. Click rear steering, click arrival again. Be stopped. You need to be at a full stop. And then I guess up to like 40, 50 kilometers an hour, you can do arrival mode. It does the most amount of crab walking when you're at like 13 kilometers an hour. You can go left and right. And then if you turn a lot to the right and then go left, then you're like dog tailing it in instead of scooching left and right. It is a lot of fun for like driving through parking lots. It definitely makes driving through parking lots very difficult. It's almost like a not real driving simulator. You know, like you're making that turn, but like you might clip a car or something in the parking lot, but it looks funny. I get so many looks. Okay, see, now I'm turning, gotta turn more. I don't think you could possibly get through a drive-through with this, but with the rear steering, if you're in the normal mode, you could get through drive-throughs and take such tight turns. It is a great feature, and this is a fun party trick attached to the feature, which is pretty much the main thing I like about this car, is that I can drive around in crab walk mode in parking lots the whole time. So that's why all the footage is going to be crab walking footage. The King, Yuri the King crab walker, Tereshin. That's what they've been calling me anyways. All right, and then if you just floor it, then your crab walking will automatically should go away. I just hit 60 there, but it's actually still on, so I gotta click this button because it does disappear, it doesn't stay up. Turn it off. Turn the wheels straight so that it knows to turn off. Now I'll take this left turn, use my infotainment screen, put it into sport, click the V button for my 700 and four-wheel drive, temporary unavailable. Let's see if we still get a nice launch in VMAX mode. 750, 785. Oh, that feels good, but it doesn't feel like Hummer crazy, but you know, Hummer had that crazy imaginary torque number. So looks, okay, this compared to a regular Escalade, I think this is smaller. You have less room in the third row. You also have a different front end. Pretty much everything is different. I noticed that the front, the black part, when you have a light colored body, it really stands out, but the grille doesn't come down looking as long. And I think that's what I like about an Escalade is like a regular Escalade has a big, long grille, and I think I'd like to see that on this. The two-toneness that goes along with like the black fake grille or whatever, and the lighter body color I think looks great. We unfortunately have it in all black, which I guess is fortunate because it makes it look like more of an Escalade because you can't actually see any of the body lines or work they put into it. The rear end, I don't like the rear end at all. It looks more Altium, Celestiq, or Lyric, or whatever, Cadillac SUV, and less like an Escalade. Like, to me, this doesn't feel like a real Escalade, especially when I'm looking at it, mostly because of the back end. But now there's the IQL that's coming out, the extended one, which gives you even more room in the third row and stuff, and in the back. And that, I think, does look more Escalade, but still the front end. Like, I wish they made that grille come down all the way to the bottom. But I guess part of the reason they didn't is because we have a huge frunk that apparently can fit 2 bags of golf clubs and, more importantly, my baby stroller. And I assume baby stroller is important. People are going to use this as a family car, right? It is a 3-row SUV, even though we have the executive package in the middle. I'm going to get into that because this is almost like a deal breaker for a family car. Like, it is kind of really bad for a family car. But I got proof for why I'm saying that. We'll get there. Other than that, on the looks, we got normal door handles, which is awesome, but they don't operate like normal door handles. After you enable it, you can have the doors automatically open and close. They're all powered, so you hold it, it'll open. You pull this or put your foot on the brake in the driver's seat, and it'll close the door. And if there's something in the way, it won't hit it. There are sensors. You can adjust how far it'll open or close in your infotainment settings before all that. That is a lot of fun. That is a cool gimmick. I really like that. It's not as seamless and easy to use as a Rolls-Royce. It takes a lot of practice to get good at using all the features in this car. But the doors automatically opening and closing are sweet. It makes me feel super rich and super luxurious. I don't know if the gas Escalade has that. I assume it could, it should. Why wouldn't it? It won't have rear steering like this with the crab walk mode, but like, why not that? And then if we look at our wheels, we got gigantic 24-inch black wheels on this. Like, it looks cool. I mean, I would prefer something chrome. We are in the Sport 2 trim. There's a Sport 1 trim, a Sport 2 trim, a Luxury 1, and a Luxury 2 trim. And the difference there is that with the Sport, all your chrome is blacked out. I think I would prefer the chrome stuff. And definitely not the color black on this, but also maybe because then it looks more like an Escalade instead of obviously an IQ SUV, which is Cadillac's electric stuff, the IQ stuff. And speaking of wheels, if you're looking to get some wheels for your car, go to continentaltire.com/TheStraightPipes. Use the tire finder to see what the perfect size tire is for your vehicle. The Magna Ride 4.0, super comfortable over bumps and everything on driving normal roads and stuff. This thing is a dream. It's a pleasure. I love it. We do have this huge sunroof, but there's no cover for it, and it doesn't like get darker like in an ID Buzz. You need to use this like fold out kind of thing, which clips in. I don't know, not that luxurious to me, but it is nice to have a huge sunroof kind of thing, moonroof, lots of light letting in. And then the grille and the headlights and the taillights. Taillights, I already said, they're pretty cool looking, but it looks a little too IQ instead of Escalade. Like, I like the full line all the way down, not disconnected, but this has the disconnect. Headlights and all that stuff looks good. Got the line again like an Escalade should. Grill isn't that big, but we do have lights and stuff in the grill, which is cool. That does make it stand out as something different. So you get some points there, Cadillac. Overall, I don't think it looks as good as the regular Cadillac. And overall, I don't even think this whole regular new Cadillac looks as good as the 23 Escalade V that we drove. I think that was perfection for the Escalade. And if you're looking to get your own Escalade, maybe one of the cooler ones from the 2000s or 2010s, go to tsp.truecar.com. Find one with gigantic rims on it. Big chrome spinners. But overall, I do like it. I don't know if I like this more than like a Lincoln Navigator, the electric one at least. I don't even know if I like the looks of this more than like a QX80. It's weird. But like the normal Escalade, yeah. It's hard to decide. And when we pop the frunk, you'll see that there is no engine, so there is no dipstick. And since this is an electric car, you don't need engine oil. But if you do have a gas car, go to the lube consultant on our TotalEnergies page, linked below, put in your information, and you'll find the recommended oil for your vehicle, including the amount of oil that your car requires in the top right. That's my favorite part. All right, so now moving inside. This is where it kind of gets crazy and a little bit bad. We got the 55-inch screen. Cool, cool, cool. It is a GM electric car, which means we don't have Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, just built in Google. Awful, worst decision ever, because the normal Escalade 2025 is gonna have CarPlay, same screens. It is not good to use. I don't like it. It's not clear. It's not easy to understand. If I get a text message and I don't reply to it right away, it goes away. I can't find it. I can't find it. Nobody at GM was able to get back to me and explain to me how to find it. I absolutely hate it. That is like one of the biggest reasons to not get an electric GM vehicle. Sorry, GM, but like nobody wants this. Maybe you guys want it. I assume it's so that GM can sell data instead of Apple CarPlay or Android Auto selling the data. But no one has told me why we don't have that. On top of that, we do have Google Maps, a little thing we have to click right here on our infotainment, but we can't get satellite view, and I love satellite view. On top of that, if I want to log in, I need to log in with my Google account to a car. My Google account that has like my life stuff in it, and I'm gonna put it into a car. No, thank you. That is like millennials learning how to make sure your stuff is secure 101. Like, don't put that into a car. It's got built-in Spotify, which I had to have my wife log in on her Spotify thing with a pin. So now Spotify's on here. I got to make sure to delete that before I leave, or else the next car reviewer is going to be listening to the Smoking Tire podcast and the Handsome podcast and the Love is Blind podcast. So I got to remember that now. And then there's a little thing at the bottom. You can put whatever things you want down there. I've got it set up for home, my layout, which I cannot change, drive mode, maps, music, 360 camera. If I try to add phone there, I got to get rid of one of those. This is a 55-inch screen. Just add more space, but it won't let me. So that's a big miss. Like, I mean, you got some shortcut buttons here on this piano black at the rotary dial, but eh. And the biggest miss, we got the executive package. Well, not the biggest miss, one of the biggest misses. We got these screens here, cool. We got that screen there that someone can use, cool. In America, they get YouTube, Hulu, and other stuff. Here, we don't even get YouTube. Like, even the Cybertruck had YouTube and stuff. I don't understand that. Is that just like they didn't bother making a deal? Like, what? You know, my kid's like, put on YouTube. Like, I can't. She's like, okay, we'll return the TV. She doesn't get it. But like, what? And there's no disk drive, so I gotta like set up a Chromecast or something. Like, why? Why are you guys making my life so difficult? Next thing that made my life incredibly difficult. We got the rear executive package. Looks nice, awesome. It is the hardest thing to adjust those seats. Even if you know what you're doing, it is incredibly difficult. There's no hard buttons on the side. There's no hard buttons on the bottom. There's like a screen that you have to navigate, but even navigating through the screen is incredibly difficult. It's not clear. You're always adjusting the wrong side, and then you click the button, then you can slide to drag, or like everyone who's tried to adjust it has had an awful time. And then on top of that, if the car's not on, or like you just get in, it'll time out, the screen will stop, and then you can't adjust your seat. So if you're like setting it up for a child seat back there and you're taking too long, you have to get to the front, start the car, and then hop back to the back. Super fail, super miss. I don't know if the non-executive package has manual adjustment or anything else, or on the door. I don't think so. I think it's still through the screen. I hate it, absolutely hate it. The next thing that I don't like, the child seats, right? I got 2 kids. People use this for their kids. People at schools drive their kids in Escalades and Tahoes and stuff instead of a minivan. Because of those headrests, they're not removable. They'll go up a bit, but not enough. My child's child seat, front-facing Britax Poplar S, can't fit there because it's hitting that and it's interfering. And according to the manual, follow your child seat's manual. And then the child seat manual says don't have it interfere. I messaged them. They're like, yeah, that's definitely interfering. It's pushing on the headrests. And I can't remove them. Can a dealer remove them? I don't know. GM wasn't able to get back to me, so I don't know if those headrests are removable from a dealership. So you might buy this and realize, like, if your kid's a certain height, you like literally can't safely drive them. It does have a tether at the back, but the tether is so far down that you need to ring it through the center and then get a tether extension. Anyways, child seat stuff, it's bad. The very back, to get to the back, it took me like a full day to figure it out. You have to reach in on the side and there's a button to move it forward. You get about like this much room to get to the back. The tightest spot ever. And then I'm like, oh, I'll put the seat back there. Headrests, not removable because they fold down. Middle one, I tried to lift it up, not removable. Someone in the comments on Insta was like, put a pin in there and then you could pop it out. Okay, so I got my one child seat in the very middle in the back. That's the only seat where it can actually fit safely according to the user manuals. But the stroller does fit in the front and in the trunk, which is really nice. And then for the baby seat, the newborn, it fits perfectly fine right there. So that's cool. And besides that, everything else in this car is pretty sick. So we got massage, heated, cooled up here, heated steering wheel. That's all good. We have massage in the middle too, and heated and ventilated. We know Cadillac does amazing massages. I am having a great time. Third row, incredibly tight. Can't really fit in there at all. Can't even get to the back pretty much. Like I can fit, but it's not the most comfortable. But I did see that Car Confections is out at the trip. They got the IQL and they are fitting just fine, much better in that third row. So shout out them in the IQL. So then up here, other stuff. If we go to our Sirius XM, let's see, we click here, Bluetooth, because it's connected to my phone, Sirius XM. AKG sound system, unreal, love it. Killer sound system, so friggin' good. Next thing we gotta look at, gauge cluster, right? We got the 55 inches, what are we working with here? Literally like 4 modes. We can click this button, we have gauge mode, Google Maps mode, driver assistance mode, and night vision mode. Night vision's cool, I guess you can see stuff, whatever. Gauge mode, it's like, you can't customize, you can't do anything cool, which I'm like, I expected a little pizzazz or whatever, but whatever. Drive assistance, we do have Super Cruise, works great, you know, the usual. Got the green light that turns on, you're super cruising, baby. We have a head-up display. It does not look good. It doesn't work with my eyes. It feels like muddy and blurry, like the Mitsubishi Outlander looks better to my eyes, so I have turned that off. I haven't used it one single bit, and let me come to a complete, oh God. All right. So I was also going to next talk about the brake regen, because we do have brake regen while driving this with the one paddle on the left, but if I click it, it is not working right now. We did get a 4-wheel drive not working error message and also a brake regen not working error message. I've gotten those a couple times throughout the week. Let's see if I click this brake regen button on my gauge cluster, it is also not working, but it is cool when it works because with the paddle, it's not just an on-off button. You can ease it in. You can come to a smooth, complete stop with the paddle, and I really like that. But if you don't like one pedal driving, you can turn that completely off. But if you do like one pedal driving, you can turn it on medium and super strong. It is like, I think, the perfect mix, like GM usually is, of their one pedal drivingness for electric cars. And I really, really like that. Okay, below that, we got this screen for our climate and all of our settings. We got rid of hard buttons. Am I a fan? Not really. Have I gotten used to it? I guess so. The only reason I'm okay with it is because it allows me to use arrival mode, and that is my favorite mode of this car. To me, this car is literally just a crab walking car. Like, you're rich, you're buying this so you can crab walk. And I really think that is the main feature of this car. So you could show up places in a silly way. Because, right, this is like kind of a silly SUV. Like, people don't need SUVs as big that are electric with like so many gimmicks and stuff. It's just like, Mercedes had the bouncing one. This has crab walk, and G-Wagon has spinning around in circles. They're allowed to have their fun gimmicks. So then with this, we can control our front, second, and third row climate, which is obviously really good. You do need to use that. We also have a different button to control the temperature, and then a different setting to control where the air goes. Then we've got our massage and position and stuff. We can get like a lot of adjustment in our position, but it is confusing, as you did see with the back seat. I absolutely hate it, but luckily we have door buttons here in the front, which we don't on the side. In the back, we should definitely have door controls back there for the next year version. Let's see if I go back. We can also control our headlights through the gauge cluster because it is a GM, and we can see our 360 camera down here. It's kind of like a shortcut button. I guess maybe I can replace my infotainment up here. I will move my phone, even though it won't let me use, let me see my text messages like a perfectly designed Apple CarPlay would. And now I can just click that for my 360 camera. The 360 camera is good. There is a mode where you can have your blind spot showing here, but it's so warpy because they're just like salvaging what they can from the 360 camera. It's not worth having on, and then it always interrupts your Google Maps, so turn that off. Highly recommend turning that off. And the 360 camera is good. It's not laggy. It's not choppy in any way like the first of the last generation was that we discovered, but it is a little far away from me, so I feel like I almost got to squint to see it. But it is good. No complaints, really. No complaints. Okay, well, one complaint. I can't get like a full wide, like 180 degree fisheye out the back or the front combined with the 360 camera. Can I? Let's see. No, I can't even. Standard, no. Side, no. Now you can't do like a full 180 degree wide. So me backing out of my driveway where there's that blind wall, not the most convenient. And then for your infotainment, since it's built-in, wireless, whatever, we got 2 wireless chargers with fans. I have just been keeping it plugged in with my USB-C and just throwing it in there anyways. We got cup holders here on the side, super convenient, fits my small cup of coffee just fine. We have a middle thing that goes up and down. So I guess if you got your mug there, whatever. We do have storage on the other side of this screen. We have a lot of storage below, which is nice. We can raise and lower the vehicle with a air ride or whatever on the left here, along with the front and the trunk. The steering wheel buttons, all gloss black, somewhat easy to use. Once you get used to it, it's not the worst. And we got the little eye thing there to track you for Super Cruise. As you need materials, we got tan in here with like the wood and some aluminum. It all looks nice. You can get a lot of cool, crazy colors in it. And there's a touch button to drop your glove box open, which I've accidentally hit too many times and I'm not in the mood. And your 360 camera stays on for surprisingly high speed. We do have ambient light in here, which does look cool at night. We do have, what is it, Waze. I think we have the Google Store, Apple Store or something, so you can, I think, buy apps for this. I'm not really sure how it all works because I'm not going to log my Google into a car because I'm an adult and I know better than to do that. Even if I owned it myself, I would feel uncomfortable with that because then someone steals it and then what? Then they got your Google somehow? I just don't like any of that. I don't like not a single bit of it. Directions to CN Tower.
Something went wrong.
Don't worry, I've got a solution for that. Slap one of these bad boys right here and then don't even connect to the car at all. Visors, I am sure they will pass. Haven't used them yet. 3, 2, 1. Full pass. That is most excellent. Another thing about the back seats I just remembered, no baby shades, no peasant blockers. Really, in this? I feel like this should have peasant blockers or baby shades. Towing, 8,000 pounds. I think this weighs 9,000 pounds. But like, yeah, it's got a tow. It's huge. Range, estimated 460 mile range or 740 kilometers of range. I haven't charged this once. I'm not going to charge it. I'm not going to go near a charger. I don't have to because I have so much range, so I have no anxiety. And if I was, it's 800 volt architecture, which means you can hypothetically charge it at an Electrify Canada super fast, but we all know that those don't work, so there's no point of getting into this little argument. This is how close the nearest 350 kilowatt chargers are from me. I think you can also charge with Teslas with these. Don't have an adapter, can't test that out. And then I think you can also reverse charge other things like powering your house. So that's cool too. Good reason to have one of these if you're rich, in case your power goes out at your cottage or something. And this is driven by 2 electric motors and an over 200 kilowatt hour battery. All right, so to get to the price, let's stop, get into our arrival mode, turn into this parking lot and crab walk to it. The Cadillac Escalade IQ starts at $177,499 Canadian, And this Sport 2 trim, topped out pretty hard, is a 196,603 Canadian. So, you know, you're kind of paying $200,000 for a crab walk SUV. Because there's like, that's the gimmick of this. The G-Wagon's got the spinning, the Mercedes has the bouncing. And honestly, I think this is a pretty sick gimmick because, you know, how often are you going to use the spinning around? That's a little like too crazy to use on public roads. If you have a family, I would highly recommend testing out every seat ahead of time because you don't want to buy a $200,000 car that won't fit a front-facing seat properly. I mean, you could still put your kid in there and it won't be proper. Like, I don't want to throw my kid in a booster, even though she can technically fit in a booster, because I bought a $200,000 car where the seat doesn't fit. Can you remove the headrest from a dealership? Somebody, please let me know. The rest of the stuff, I love the sound system. Love that you can open and close the doors with the buttons and stuff. It takes a little bit of practice to get used to, but it's fun. I love using the front because it's so huge. Would I take this over a regular Escalade? I don't know. I've been crab walking all week and I'm still not sick of it, but I think I'd have to go normal Escalade just for the room and stuff over this and looks, because to me, like, I just don't like that rear end look compared to a regular Escalade. I like that hard line, that hard drop, that hard light that goes from the top to the bottom, plus the no CarPlay, which is the biggest deal breaker in the world. But if you're okay with this stuff, give it a shot. It is pretty fun, and crab walking is the best feature, I think, right now. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Jacob will be back next video. Don't you worry. He'll be back from Florida, from Gatorland.